The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 and stoked. From Third Eye Blind, joining the show this morning is Stephen Jenkins. Hello, sir.
What a pleasure to be talking to you.
With the show coming up June 28th with Yellow Card at Northerly Island. But really, for me, the nostalgia I have of all the shows you've done with Q101 in Chicago over the years, whether it was our Twisted Christmas, just so much joy you and your band brought to Chicago and us.
Well, how sweet of you to say. Thank you very much. I hope I don't let you down.
You could never.
Well, he could. He could let us down. It's possible.
Stop saying that, Brian.
I mean, it's possible.
Hey, every night is different. You've got to make it from scratch every single time. So I think that's a good attitude to have. We don't have any computers. We're not like a DJ band where you just press play. It's you have to make it, and it's got to be energized. You have to have magic in it. So
A little shady, though. I like that comment. A little shady.
Throwing a little shade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a little shade, huh? Kenzie, can I tell you why? I just did a DJ gig, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, and do you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I pressed play.
Was it kind of awesome? Were you like, I should have been doing this the whole time?
I pressed play, and then I picked up the mic, and I'm like, you love this.
What are you doing working hard? Why didn't you just do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but everyone was bearing witness to the jams. It was great, and just putting the thing together. But no, there's an art to DJing, and that's not me. But musically, I do like the challenge of you have to be energetically, emotionally, physically, fully in that mode if you really want it to step all the way off. And I live for that. So.
It's okay. You don't have to backpedal. We know you're talking about Pauly D, okay, from Jersey Shore. It's fine.
Never heard of it. You know what I like about coming to Chicago?
What's that?
Is I go to the Art Institute, and I do this every time, and I go up and I see my favorite painting, I think, in the world. I go and I look at Rainy Day in Paris.
Yes.
And I stand in front of that painting, and it fills me with a sense of hopefulness.
Well, that's pretty powerful.
I love it. I love it.
Did you see that painting? Did you already know about that painting beforehand? You went to go see it? Or were you walking around the Art Institute and stumbled upon it and was like, oh, my gosh?
I saw it as a poster at the outside, and I went, this all looks interesting. Let's go in here and check it out. And then I saw it, and I was so moved by it. I just stood in front of it, and it's just required for every time I come to Chicago.
So what's wild is I thought you were talking about the painting in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's also in the Art Institute of Chicago. And when I looked it up just now, the one that's called Sunday Afternoon on the island of Le Grand Jatte.
That's a lot. That's quite a name for a painting.
It's a huge painting. Remember when they go in there and and Cameron's just a picture of him with the Red Wings jersey on. He's kind of looking at that painting. That's the one I thought you were talking about, but I just looked up yours, and it's not that. It's a different one.
Yours is very calming.
Yeah, it is.
Rainy Day in Paris. It's very calming.
Rainy Day in Paris is like the world is ours, and I love that. I love that feeling to it.
That's amazing.
It gets me. I'll have looked at that before the show, and I'll be there, and I'll be inspired because it's right down the street from Northerly Island.
Are you now nervous with how many people are going to be by that painting on June 28th when you show up? It's going to be like a meet and greet.
Funny. I didn't think of that, actually, Kenzie. That's a good point.
Yeah, good job telling everybody where you're going to be.
Yeah, good to know. What time are you landing?
No, I'll be wearing a baseball hat to put me in disguise.
Sure. And also this year, you got the 25th anniversary of Jumper, which is pretty wild to think. I'm sure for you it blows your mind. It's 25 years ago. And these limited edition gold records, pure gold records, and silver records that are coming out that people can purchase, that super fans can buy. I remember that song, the impact of that song when it came out. Obviously being Mental Health Month here in May in Chicago. And that was there was a real big moment, I guess that's the way I would want to put it, with that song where everybody talked about it, whether it was just the nightly news, let alone MTV and just people you hung out with, about the impact of that song and what it meant to them.
Huh. It's funny how it's changed over time because it's such a kind of a cathartic song. It's a now for audiences, it's just really about kind of the feeling of people reaching out to each other and saying, I have acceptance for you. I have understanding for you. And when I experience playing it live with people, it's just about joy that I don't even really think about the sort of the dark side of it that it comes from.
That's wild. And like I said, time evolves with the lyrics and the song when you play it every night too, and it's a different feeling. Well, listen, we're super looking forward to June 28th. I got to say, you've done so much stuff for Q101, and I can remember back in the day, again, I mentioned the Jamboree show, which was with bands like Moby and Everclear and Eve 6 and 311 and 2000, and I got to interview you then. I know you won't remember this, but great interview. We had a great conversation and chat. And at the end of the interview, he looked over to me and he said, hey, Brian, don't forget, let me know where the after party is. And I didn't know of an after party. And at the time I said,
loser.
and I remember going, I said to you, yeah, for sure. And then we crossed paths later on backstage, like 2 hours later, and you were across the room and you kind of pointed your finger up in the air and looked and you go, hey, Brian, remember, after party, let me know. And I go, I got you, even though I had no idea. And I'm asking everybody about an after party, and no one knew about some big after party.
Well, no one was going to tell you.
Clearly.
Obviously.
Clearly. I just need to know. I know it's many years later. Did you go to the after party?
How would I possibly remember that?
I got to know what kind of after party I missed.
He wanted to know what he wasn't able to get into.
That's right.
He's been dying to talk to you.
I've been waiting years to talk to you again about this.
Oh, my God.
Good Lord. Give me something.
Can I just share with you, though, Brian, if
Yes.
there's one thing that I don't want to go to is an after party.
Okay.
Well, that's changed.
All I ever want to do now, all we want is just we just want that dirty pub. We just want that, the place where there's nobody in it. It's a dive. It's on its last legs. If we're going to go someplace after a show, that's where you'll find us. Like the kind of pub where you'd be like, nobody would be caught dead in there. That's where Third Eye Blind would be.
Well, now we know where you're going to be after the show, too. You got to stop doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, Steven, man.
Bad.
Oh, so good talking to you, man. So good. And we can't wait to see you. Yeah, June 28th.
Thank you, guys.
And hopefully you can stop in the studio, too, when you're here. We'd love to have you in and shoot it around more, okay?
Invite me and I will come.
This is the invite. We want to see you June 28th.
It's the before party.
Yeah, the before party.
It's going to be a busy day.
Thank you so much, Steven.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.